Now the Summerboard is an electric skateboard, but in a lot of ways, it is not. And in this video, I'm going to break down how the Summerboard is so different than your traditional electric skateboard. So we start with the very first thing you're going to notice is that the Summerboard has 6 wheels and not 4 wheels. That is because it has a 360-degree spinning wheel in the middle, allowing you to make really unique, different turns than a traditional electric skateboard. Now in this comparison video, we are just comparing to electric skateboards in general, not a specific electric skateboard, because there's so many models and types and versions out nowadays that there's no reason to compare it to a specific one. Just know when I say electric skateboards, this is going to be across the board. Now, other than 6 wheels, the Summerboard's also going to have bindings on it at the front. Now, these are not bindings that you like ratchet into, so you can easily still jump off of the Summerboard if you need to, but they are footholds that allow you to help do all the maneuvers that you can do on the Summerboard. So other than 6 wheels and bindings, what is the key difference between an electric longboard and a Summerboard, and which one's going to be the best for you? So in my opinion and experience, an electric longboard is a very passive experience. Yes, when you're ripping an electric longboard, you can be making some turns and going decently fast, but overall, that's really all you can do. It quickly becomes kind of a boring experience ripping an electric longboard after spending so much time on the Summerboard. Now, if I was just going from point A to point B and I just like needed something simple, you know, the electric longboard is gonna work. You know, it is a good means of transportation and it's a more passive experience. So if you wanted to film somebody or you wanted to just look around, you know, you don't have to really worry about what edge you're on or making turns, anything like that. You're just standing on this board. But once again, like that's all you're doing the whole time. Kind of takes a lot of the fun out of the experience. But with the Summerboard, we are rocking from edge to edge, making turns like we do on a snowboard. So just like ripping a groomer on a snowboard is fun and exhilarating, so is ripping a normal trail on a Summerboard. But also we're able to do full 360s on the trails, as well as power slides, a bunch of rad fun things. You can even tail press it or manual it, which just takes that fun level a lot higher than you can with the electric longboard. Also, the bindings and the fact that you can ollie the Summerboard, you can jump over big gnarly cracks, where with the electric longboard, you can be ripping it, but all of a sudden you might run into a crack or a curve or whatever, and you're gonna have to get off and pick this thing up or carry it where you need to be. And on that note, if you need to turn around, you literally, because these things go one direction, some have reverse, but you're not gonna ride the electric longboard fully in reverse. To turn it around in a tight corner, you literally have to like get off the board and turn it, where with the Summerboard, you can just turn, just spin around. This thing can turn pretty much on a dime. Now, some electric longboards, once again, can go backwards. The Summerboard doesn't go backwards. You can turn the board and then you start riding your switch direction, which is backwards, but it physically goes one way. But once again, if you need to turn it, you can quickly turn this thing. The other thing you can do with the Summerboard that you can't do with an electric longboard, I'm pretty sure you can't do an electric longboard, is take it into a skate park. The Summerboard you can take in and do board slides, you can hit jumps, you can hit coping, you can do anything with the Summerboard. This thing is a street snowboard. So if you want to take your snowboard tricks into the terrain park, you can do that with the Summerboard. An electric skateboard, you're not going to be doing that. Now, one thing I've gotten, and you can always tighten your trucks and things, but I've gotten on a electric skateboard that I've never gotten on the Summerboard is speed wobbles. Now, I've taken this thing pretty freaking fast, and when you're ripping it fast, like it does get scary and you're going edge to edge and you're doing all the type of stuff. But on an electric skateboard, when I started going fast, I got speed wobbles. That's when the trucks, everything start going like crazy. Now, that's just the downside of any skateboard. Like the inevitable speed wobbles can happen. But the Summerboard, even though it has the trucks and technically the things in order to have speed wobbles, these center wheels won't allow that to happen. So you're not going to get speed wobbles on the Summerboard either. Now, all electric skateboards are going to be using controllers, and once again, there's so many different types of controllers and things out there. I did just want to mention with the Summerboard that the controller is super comfortable and very basic. There's literally one button on here, so you don't have to worry about mashing other buttons or doing anything. It tells you the speed, it tells you your battery life of the Summerboard. A lot of rad information here, and if you want to adjust any of the throttle, all that type of stuff, it's on an app, which I totally prefer more than having that on the controller. Having it on an app makes sure that you're not bumping your controls and messing with your settings while you're riding, because you don't need that stuff changing on you. Like if you want to change your acceleration, you want to go into an app and make sure that when you change it, you know what you're doing and not accidentally doing it, so you don't like whiskey throttle yourself to death. Now, stopping on these two boards are totally different. The Summerboard, it does technically have a brake, but you don't use the brake to stop. You use the board to stop. You go 90 degrees and that's how you stop on the Summerboard. Very much like a snowboard, it's super controlled. You can do it on your toe side edge, your heel side edge. You have 2 different ways to stop, where with an electric skateboard, you just pull back on the throttle and you stop. Now, if you accidentally over pull back on it or accidentally pull back on it, this thing's gonna yeet you off of it, which becomes very dangerous. Anytime the board just stops underneath you and you're sideways, like that is a recipe to getting tossed. So I will say, I do highly really prefer stopping on the Summerboard. For me personally, it's such a natural way for me to stop is to turn 90 degrees and just slide to a stop. So some other quick specs about the Summerboard is it can go 12 miles in distance on flat ground. If you're in the hills and things like that, you know, ups and downs will kind of affect your distance, but it also go up to 27 miles per hour, which is an insane speed. And I've gotten hundreds of miles on these wheels and I haven't had to replace them yet. The Summerboard is an absolute tank. It's super duper fun compared to an electric skateboard. In general, I think if you're out here to have more fun than just getting from point A to point B, you want this to be something that, yes, you can go point A to point B, but you also want to be able to have fun with it. The flat ground 360s and spins are like the most fun thing you can do. Just busting a nice donutty turn is so sick. Drifting around turns opposed to just kind of like leaning into them. It's so much more fun on a Summerboard than it is on an electric skateboard. Unless you're just filming something or you're like the most passive person on the world and you just want to like have a passive experience, then an electric skateboard will work for you. If you want to have some fun and you also just want to like rip and have some excitement and thrill and literally turn pavement into groomers, if you're a snowboarder, I can't recommend the Summerboard enough. So use code JB100, save yourself $100 off the Summerboard. I am sponsored by Summerboard, but I do have like other electric stuff and I still always navigate to the Summerboard because it's more fun to rip, especially in my driveway. Being able, it's not the biggest driveway, so I can make turns and spin and do so much stuff. Like I can ride the Summerboard for hours in my driveway. With the electric skateboard, I can barely turn it here. It's like meh. But with that, Team Buckhouse, thank you so much for shredding with me today. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep evolving. We'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. It's daily on the channel. We do stuff like this daily.